We are live. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, YouTube.
Zion Mediaites.
We are going to try to keep this really short because I need to go to bed. And so we just want to bring you a couple of updates. I assume we're live. Are we live?
We are live.
We got 21 people in the hole.
Well, let's jump into it.
Let's jump, bro.
Okay. Well, a couple of things. If you haven't registered for the event on the 25th, get to registering. We are almost fully registered for the Adamandiaman potluck. I think we have like 30 or 40 more spaces available there. So if you want to come to that, you can register for that. Is that the registration there? Or that's the registration for the event on the 25th?
Yeah, this is the 25th. And I am going to it's in our video description. You can find the link to this. But I'm going to throw it right now in the live chat. And one thing to note is we've got, I would say, close to 100 people that have, we've got close to 100 people that have said, oh, I'm coming through text and email and the contact us form. And they're not fully registered. So there's probably less than 200 spots available right now. So super important that you get there, you register, and it's basic, like super basic. If you come over here, scroll down, it's got all the information. You click on how many people are coming, you put your name in, email address, how many you want. Tickets are free, really basic. You can go in and put adult, children. There are sections in here if you want to donate, and that's it. But very basic. The next one.
Also, while you're pulling that up, shout out to Robert Munz. We had a guy reach out to us, said he moved out. Where did he move? Where's he from, David?
North Carolina. He's actually driving up to the events. So he's got a distance still. So
he has been collecting some really high-tech camera lighting. The live that we're doing with his stuff is going to be amazing. So this live is going to be highly produced, good cameras. So we're really excited about that. All right, Trev, what do you got?
Okay, so this is in the description. This is for, like Shane said, there's probably 30, 40 spots left. You simply come in here, and it is, originally we had this assigned, and you may have filled this out and like picked that you're going to bring food. And then the guys throwing this event for us said, listen, we know how to do a potluck. We're just going to do a true potluck. And so what we're asking is just bring a main dish, a side, or a dessert. That's it. Very simple. You go here, register. We know who's coming. And this event is at the Morel Ranch. You can go into YouTube and type in Morel Ranch. This is gorgeous facility. It's on like the bank of some river, and it's right across from Adamandiaman. And we're going to have Chief Mitiga speak. There's going to be a couple other people speak, and then we're going to have a Q&A, probably up to an hour Q&A, very intimate. And it looks like we are going to be live streaming this because somebody offered to bring their Starlink satellite. So shout out to you, you know who you are. And as long as we can pull that off, we will be live streaming this as well, which will be super cool. After the Q&A, we are going to go do some s'mores outside. And so we're providing the s'mores, paper plates, and there's going to be water, and then just a literal true potluck. Some of the Polynesians that are in the local area volunteered and said they'd be happy to bring some food. And I was getting a little stressed. I'm like, well, how do we know that there's just not going to be like 90 funeral potatoes? And they're like, trust us. We do this all the time. And I'm like, all right. I'm good with it. So true potluck, bring one thing, okay? Dessert, entree, or a salad, side dish or something like that, okay? So that's in the link, okay? That's the second thing. The third thing is there has been some requests for housing for single women. And Christmas Girl has booked this Airbnb that is downtown Independence. And you can go to a form on our description and you can access this. Oh, for some reason that didn't pop up when I did it. Let me see here. Did that change on the screen? Yep. Okay, there we go. So this is the sign up. This is for single women. And I think there's, 4 full beds open right now. Okay, they have 1, 2. So they got 1, 2. Yeah, there's room.
Do you know the cost, Trev?
I don't know. Oh, the total for the stay is $220. You can stay 1, 2, or 3 nights. So pretty cheap. Way cheaper than getting in a hotel. And you're gonna have, your own private bed, room, the whole 9 yards. So you can go into our description on this video and click on that.
Plus, you get to meet some cool people. You gotta do a little networking.
Exactly. And then the last one that I'm going to show, and I'm wondering if David got this one in the description as well, is if you live in the Salt Lake area and you want to go to a watch party, this can fit 40 people, potluck, and you can go in there and it's got all the information in there.
Who's hosting that?
I can't even remember. We got so many people blown this up. I'm probably like you. I don't know who it is. I know that Krissa is the one that coordinated and communicated with me, and she's like, "Hey, throw this out there." So, the last thing is on Saturday. We haven't created yet a link, and we will be doing it for the Native American Cherokee Nation event. So I know a lot of people are asking about that. We'll create another invite thing and circulate it.
We have very limited spots.
Very limited. Very, very limited. And we're kind of taking a back seat on this one. It's not as much as something that we're coordinating. We're waiting to get intel. We don't know how many people they have confirmed at it yet. But for that event, if you are Native American, and you've got your family, your friends are Native American, we want to kind of have that be priority. So the ones that we have started setting aside.
Do you have a picture? Do you have a picture, David? It's got the fire in the middle, circular seating. I was on the phone with Mitiga today, kind of planning that. That's really a ceremony.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it looks like it's dirt floor. It kind of looks like to me like a rodeo stadium, right? But it's smaller. It's got bleachers that are probably like 20 high in a complete circular faction, and then in the middle of it, there's a fire pit. And this is the 8th age ceremony. Is that?
Yep. And shout out to Forrest Liggett. I've talked to him. He's the one that is the headman or the elder that I'm talking to out there. He's been awesome to work with. We're going to have like music and dancing, very Native American. If you're planning on coming and you're wondering like, what's the dress? I'm just coming business casual for that one. I've had people ask me, what's the dress code for Adam on Diamond? I'm like, hey, just super casual, just hang out, what you'd wear to go hang out with your friends. It doesn't need to be dressed up. But on the 25th, people have said, what do I wear on the 25th? And what I'm telling everybody is whatever your culture does for church type events. In my culture, it's a white suit or white shirt, suit and tie. So it's really just whatever your culture is. If your culture is Native American, wear your Native American garb. If your culture is Polynesian, wear that. I mean, whatever you wear to church on Sundays or whenever you go to church, wear that.
I have a fun fact while we're talking about this. When I was first married, I was living in Seattle, and getting back from a mission, it's always, oh, there we go. Let's show this real quick. Okay, that's the outside. This is the Cherokee Nation. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. The fire pit, some bleachers. Yeah,
and listen, if you want to come instead of Well, anyways, Trevor will circulate a thing. You can email me as well, ShaneBaldwin234@gmail.com.
And if there's a little bit of a delay, please know that we're all super behind, and we appreciate your patience. And we do see them, and we're working on getting the exact details on this. And so what I was going to mention is my attire for my culture is I wear slacks, I wear a shirt, and I wear a tie. But since 2001, I've not worn a white shirt a single time because a bishop offended me. I'm one of those guys that I'm like, I'm offended, right? And I'm going to show you. And it was at a stake conference, and he came up to me and he's like, Brother Keys, I'm super disappointed you don't have a white shirt on. All of us from the Woodinville, ward, we wear white shirts. And I told myself then and there, I'm like, I'm never wearing a white shirt again. So I will wear a white shirt, but it'll be speckled or stripes or different stuff like that. So moral of the story is, guys, whatever you're comfortable with, but we want to dress up a little bit. This is a little more formal event, and we whoa, Trevor, I love it. White shirt isn't a rule. I agree. So yeah, we're super excited about this. A couple of things to note, things that we're going to be doing. And if you guys kind of plan the same itinerary, we're going to run into you, and we'd love to link up with as many of you as possible. On Thursday, before the event at the Morel Ranch, we're going to head over to Adirondack, and we're going to go do a tour. From what I heard, the missionaries close the gates at 7. Well, that's a couple hours before our event anyways. So we're going to head over there, see the sights, do our thing. That's on Thursday, and then we're going to head over to the ranch. On Friday, we're in Independence. So we want to check out all the independent sites, right? We want to go to Temple Lot. We want to go to the Community of Christ. We want to check out their, I don't know if it's their temple, but that seashell looking thing, right?
Right.
And anything else historic, like we'll make a list up of historic things. And then on Saturday,
Saturday, just so you know, in the morning, first session, if you want to go do a session in the temple, there's a group of people I know that are going to the temple, the LDS temple out there
in Kansas City, right? I think that's the closest one. And then we're going to hit up Liberty Gel. Super excited for that, and in anything else there. So that's kind of like the hit list of events we're going to be doing. Can you give?
Weather's supposed to be great too, by the way.
Yeah,
weather's supposed to be in the 70s.
Yeah, even like I saw it like 81 on Saturday, 79 on Friday. So beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if the trees are turning, fall colors there. Have you guys noticed we're kind of getting ripped off this year in Utah? Like our trees aren't turning as vibrant as they have in the past. Have you guys noticed that? I
haven't. I'll check it out.
Yeah, look at it. Like you're normally getting these bright color poppings, and I don't know why. Yeah, getting some questions. What time is everybody going to Adirondack before Morel Ranch? Good question. Probably going to head over there.
3:34.
Yeah, between 2 and 3, something like that. I'll look at David, the meteorologist there. Not a ton that is there's not a ton there, right? But so that'll give us plenty. Oh, mosquitoes like the weather. That ain't.
Trev, tell us a little bit about the signs of the times, man. Like, why is this happening? Why is this going on? What could potentially be driving this?
All right. So any other questions that you guys have, throw them in the comments, and we'll address them. And for the next little bit, I'm going to give a little presentation that we're going to cut and edit into a podcast that we're going to play probably on Thursday as we're out there doing our stuff. And it's about the signs of the time, the signs in the heavens and everything that's going on right now, because it is pretty wild. All right. I want to zoom in. Are you guys able to see this signs of the heaven? Does that pop up and you guys just?
No, I don't see it.
Okay. I probably need to toggle to the right screen. What about that?
I see. I can add to stage. There you go.
There we are. Okay. So there's a lot going on right now. And when I say a lot going on, I'm talking about a ton coming on. And so we're going to read through some of this, and then I've got some videos to show all of this, but there's so many things happening right now that it's hard to not look at this as like God being like, hello, is this thing on? You know, like mic test, is this thing on? Right? I mean, it's unbelievable what is happening. So hold on a second. My screen just okay. The Bible provides, and this handwork provides a clear roadmap for recognizing signs in the heavens and on the earth. Signal the imminent coming of Jesus Christ. 4 key scriptures: Acts 2:9, Revelation 12:1-4, Joel 20 or 2:30-31 describe celestial phenomenons, societal upheaval, natural disasters, and precursors of divine judgment of Christ's returns. This document explores these scriptural references alongside modern astronomical events such as Betelgeuse, the Betelgeuse supernova, Comet Atlas, the mini moon, and the recent widespread northern lights, Jacob's star, and a significant constellation alignment. Okay. So let's hit up a couple of these things that are pretty prominent. Acts 2:19-20, wonders in the heaven, including blood moons, solar eclipses before the great and noble day of the Lord. Revelations 12:1-4, a woman clothed with the sun, a dragon sweeping stars from the sky, symbolizing the spirit and cosmic upheaval. Fire, smoke, darkened skies. And then Luke 21, signs in the moon, sun, stars, and distress. So we're going to jump into the first one here. But interestingly enough, before all of these, and these are just signs that are in the heaven, right? I want us to remember like what is going on right now with wars, rumors of wars, right? Like, did you guys notice that over the weekend, North Korea sent 12,000 soldiers to Russia to go fight in Ukraine? Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
China's doing something too.
China's doing something. China's flexing. In fact, President Xi, for the first time in the history of him being a permanent president, dressed up in full military garb yesterday. Did you see that video? That was,
yeah, they're getting ready. Listen, not only are the stars lining up, but so are the soldiers.
Yeah. So we know this wars and rumors of wars, right? We also know that weather is going nuts. Just think about the weather that we're having here in the U.S., right? And then did you guys see what happened in France Saturday?
No. What happened?
France completely flooded. Go to your TikTok or Instagram and type in France flood. Like the Eiffel Tower, all that whole entire area is completely flooded. There was a cyclone that went through France. Yesterday in Vancouver, British Columbia, they had a cyclone that did this like weird pattern and came up, flooded Vancouver. We had was it Acapulco or Mazatlan? The same time that the hurricanes were happening in America, it totally blinded out the news coverage of that. Those guys got flattened, hit worse than Florida did. And so there's all of this stuff happening, and at the exact same time that all this stuff happening, there's some crazy stuff happening in the heavens. Okay, and that is the whiteboard of God, right? If it's not good enough for him, for us, that he's speaking to prophets and apostles and they're telling us the time is now, the time is now, the time is now. He's, like how many times do they have to tell us the time is now? Well, he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to throw some further signs to really wake you up and make sure that the time is now. So let's go after the Betelgeuse supernova. So Betelgeuse is, it used to be like the 7th brightest star in the night sky. Okay. And it was predicted for like over a decade that eventually Betelgeuse would go supernova. And for those of us who know what supernova is, it's when the star is in like its last days and it finally like explodes, right? And there's this humongous explosion. And they've been saying that could happen anywhere from, in the next 10,000 years. And I've got a couple of videos that I'll show on it. Well, in September of this year, we're talking just September, Betelgeuse doubled in brightness in the sky. And if you haven't seen it, just go out and look to the east, and you will see it. It is now the brightest star in the sky. It's brighter than Sirius, and it is super, super obvious. You can't miss it. And if you want to be confirmed that it is Betelgeuse, there's a bunch of different apps on Android and iPhone. I use Night Sky. It's a free app. You can download it. You put it up in the sky, and then you can just type in Betelgeuse, and it'll give you an arrow to show you where it's at, just to confirm what it is. But it's expected now that it's doubled in size, all of the astronomers are saying this thing's going to blow, right? Like, and they still don't know when it's going to blow, but the fact that it doubled in size is a sign that it's like, it's in its final days. In addition to that, every 400 days, they knew it was pre-supernova because every 400 days it would do like a flash like this. And it's now doubled since September to every 200 days. It does this flash in size. So I'm going to show a couple of videos on it. I just realized I got to open it in another window. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, I mean, I literally, when I walk out this back door right here, I look straight up over the mountain, right, huge star, just beaming. It doesn't really pop out till about 9 or 9:30, come over the mountain for me. But yeah, it's incredible.
Okay.
You get that up?
Yeah, this should do it. And then I got to turn on the sound. Okay.
Red giant star.
So this, guys, if you look at when this was back in February. Okay. So they've known this is going to happen for a while, but this interview right here is from like 10 years ago. And they're talking about what's happening with Betelgeuse.
If you put it where the sun is, it will extend out to the orbit of Jupiter. It's enormous. It's very unstable. It's about to explode.
They are among the biggest explosions of radio energy in the entire universe. They generate more energy than 1 billion suns. The energy in radio frequencies is so great that eventually the entire universe will be aware of this one explosion.
Brace yourselves for a cosmic cataclysm of unprecedented proportions. Betelgeuse, the red giant star poised on the edge of our galaxy, is sending ominous signals through the universe. Using the James Webb Space Telescope, astronomers have uncovered something profoundly unsettling about this colossal celestial body. As renowned astrophysicist Brian Cox issues a grave warning, the question looms: are we on the precipice of witnessing a catastrophic supernova explosion that could forever change the night sky as we know it? Let's dive in. In the grand tapestry of the cosmos, where stars are born, live, and die in spectacular...
Okay, I'm gonna cut this one, go to the next one. Just giving you a little teaser. Go do some searching on this, guys. This is the next one. So now
this is crazy. The star Betelgeuse just got 50% brighter. You might know Betelgeuse as the 10th brightest star in the night sky and the left shoulder of the constellation Orion. Betelgeuse is on the verge of going supernova, which is when a star collapses within seconds and creates some of the biggest explosions in space. Because Betelgeuse is nearing this stage in its life, it's been acting really weirdly. In 2019, Betelgeuse had an enormous explosion of plasma into space, which blocked the star and caused it to seem to dim from our perspective. Betelgeuse had been pulsing in brightness on about a 400-day cycle, but since the explosion, the cycle has only been 200 days. And now the star, which is 700 times bigger than the sun, is getting brighter, and it's about 50% brighter than it normally is. We are witnessing a star in the final stages of its life, and it's interesting to see how its brightness fluctuates. And who knows what it's really doing at this moment in time, because Betelgeuse is about 640 light years away, so we're seeing it as it was 640 years ago.
Now, the good news is there's no danger to us, but I think the next video is going to tell when this thing goes supernova, it's going to be so bright that it will equal the full moon brightness. They said it'll cast shadows. You'll be able to see it in the day. Just as
How long will it light the sky up like that? Is it like one time?
I don't know if I don't know. Let's see if this one gives any.
When
Maybe it'll just
Betelgeuse
be like the Book of
explodes,
Mormon.
it will become bright enough to be visible even during the daytime. The supernova of Betelgeuse will create a spectacular light show in the sky. The initial sign would be a sudden flood of neutrinos washing over Earth, detectable by observatories worldwide. Shortly after, as high-energy photons escape from the cloud of
I want to point out this video was from last year in July. Last year in July, and in September it doubled in size.
expanding stellar debris, Betelgeuse would exponentially brighten up to 100,000 times its usual brightness
100,000
over the course of a week. Depending on the power of the explosion, this point of light could rival the full moon's brightness and even be visible during the day, casting sharp shadows at night. Stationed approximately 650 light years away, we humans are ideally positioned to witness this cosmic spectacle from a prime vantage point. It is indeed one of the most awaited astronomical events. For more videos of cosmic...
Okay, so that's one sign, right? Pretty amazing sign, and pretty amazing that it's happening right now, and pretty amazing that after September 21st, which we all know the importance of the 21st and the 22nd, that all of a sudden this thing goes blunk, and it doubles in size, right? Like a little wild. Let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything else out there. How many of you guys?
Is it normal, Trevor, for a star to go supernova?
From what I've researched, and I could be wrong, this is the first time we'll ever see it in modern astronomical history, a supernova.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I've never really heard of it. You know, my 44 years on the earth, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard of supernova, but do you ever remember being a kid going outside and your mom's being like, look, something that's as big as the sun? And you're like, what's that, Mom? It's like, oh, it's just a star that exploded. And how come I can see it during the day? No, you can't see stars during the day. This thing's going to be equal the brightness of the full moon, okay? So to me, that's like God turning on a flashlight, like click, click, you know? All right, let's go to the next one. This one is the Atlas Comet, okay? And if you go into TikTok, Instagram, and you search Atlas Comet, you're going to be able to see this. This was discovered in early 2023, and it's approaching, the closest approach to the sun was the end of September. And we're going to be able to see this thing until October the 26th. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's some of these videos are absolutely beautiful. Hold on a sec.
I mean, what are the odds that all of these things are going on right now? And then on top of that, you have all the crazy things going on politically.
Well, we're going to make the case here when we get to the end of this that all of these things together is like a super parlay that's like absolutely impossible to hit, right? Okay, so that's the next one. Let's see if this is the one I want.
I'm pumped for this event, by the way. I head out there on the 22nd. I'm going to be in Adam-on-Diamond, I'm going to be in Stockton, 22nd and 23rd, and then I'll head over to Adam-on-Diamond.
Okay, so a lot of people are asking, how do I see this? Okay, and I can tell you really simply how to see it. Okay, so all you do is you go out. There's two ways that you can see this. Okay, you can see it at sunset, or you can see it at dawn before the sun comes up. If you want to go out in the morning and see it before the sun comes up, it needs to be like in the twilight hours where you can see, where it's not just pure black, right? So in that position, you look east. And I hear it's kind of hard to see. I haven't been able to see it yet myself, but what I've heard is if you take your phone and if you film in the direction of the east, and record for a little bit and then go and zoom in, you can see it and you'll be able to tell where it is in the sky. And with binoculars, you'll be able to see it. But people are seeing it with the naked eye. Like Shane, we've got what, 3 or 4 pictures of people sending it to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's Atlas. Pretty cool. You can see it. Oh, if you want to see it at night, you got to go after sunset. And you look to the west. So the exact same thing. Now, the closer that it gets to October the 25th, you have to look higher in the horizon. Okay. But if this is the horizon, the bottom of my screen, you just kind of want to look like mid-level, and it keeps getting a little bit higher on the horizon. So to the west after sunset, it needs to be in those like dark twilight hours where there's still contrast. You'll be able to see. You kind of could tell from the videos. So that's number 2, right? Dave, can you go to my share screen again? Okay, now this one is wild. I don't know how many of you guys have seen videos where people talking about like, there's a second moon. There's a second moon. I heard this stuff. I'm like, that's ridiculous. You know, like I don't believe it. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Second moon. No, there's a second moon. Okay. And I'm not kidding you. So this thing is called a quasi moon or a mini moon. NASA has called it a quasi moon and a mini moon in different papers. It'll remain in the Earth's orbit. And it showed up last month, and it's here for 2 months. So September till the end of November. It's difficult to see with the naked eye. People are picking it up with their, telescopes and stuff like that. But I'm going to show you a couple of videos on it, and just think how random this is. Like, does anyone ever, can you guys go into the internet and tell me, has there ever been a second moon? Like, I don't remember there ever being a second moon. Maybe that's just my timeline. But okay, let me show you the mini moon.
I want y'all to have a mental image of this asteroid that's coming. And this isn't to scare anybody or anything, but look how close it comes to us. Right here. And then when you go up towards the moon, they are not 100%. That's why NASA, whoever, is saying, yeah, when it gets close to us, we're going to go visit it and make sure it won't hit us.
So look at those dates. When did it pop up? September 29th. Everything's popping up, the end of September. This thing's going away November 25th. Let me show you a couple other vids on it real quick. Okay, here's the next one.
An asteroid called 2024 PT5 is heading towards Earth and is set to become a mini moon for 2 months.
Just a mini moon.
They are claiming an asteroid is going to show up, orbit the Earth for a little over a month, and then take off again. Think about that. Researchers discovered the small asteroid on the 7th of August. Calculations of...
Does that make anybody a little nervous that they didn't know about this thing until August 7th? And then all of a sudden it
is kind of messed up.
It's here September 29th. Like, that's not too reassuring for other asteroids that they can't see, right? Like, how did they not see this thing?
Of the 10-meter-long asteroid as it approaches Earth. According to asteroid dynamics researchers, it should loop around Earth from 29th of September until the 25th of November. The mini-moon will stay around until it breaks loose and continues its journey through the solar system. Due to asteroid 2024 PT5's close proximity to the planet, Earth's gravity will temporarily alter its path.
Okay, so we got a mini-moon. We know that
concerning.
We know that the sun and the moon and the stars are clearly given to us as signs, right?
When Betelgeuse explodes, it will become bright enough.
Now I'm on Betelgeuse. Don't say it 3 times. Okay, so that's number 3. Let's go to number 4. The Northern Lights. All right. So we all saw these Northern Lights, and we're on this weird solar cycle right now where people were in Arizona and they were witnessing the Northern Lights. Okay. The Northern Lights don't go to Arizona, you guys. This is one of the strongest solar storms that we've had in over a century. And the sun is really unstable. It's burping, right? And we've got this Coriolis effect that is the Earth's magnetic field does this protection that shelters us from all of these solar rays, right? And as it does that and it comes in, mixes with the atmosphere, you're seeing these beautiful, amazing Northern Lights. Okay, and this is happening now, right? So massive amounts of Northern Lights. I don't have video of that. We're going to jump to the next one, Jacob's Star. Okay, now Jacob's Star was another one of those things where I heard people talking about the second moon. And I'm like, that's stupid. That's just conspiracy theory stuff, right? And people are like, have you seen Jacob's star? Have you heard about Jacob's star? I'm like, I have not heard about Jacob's star. So some prophecy enthusiasts refer to the appearance of a bright star or celestial event as a fulfillment of Numbers 24:17, which mentions a star out of Jacob. Let's take a look at what Jacob's star looks like really quick here.
The star of Jacob has shown up. It's been now 4 days since it's shown up, and apparently it's going to be visible for the next couple weeks. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? Let me show you. Look at what it says in the Bible, in the book of Numbers 24:17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nith. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a spectre shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Seth. This star of Jacob literally showed up like the day after the Iran attack on Israel. Literally, this is what Iran did like a couple of days ago.
Okay, I'm going to show you another one, what it looks like. This is actually like somebody with a high-powered telescope, and this is a very unusual.
What did they say? Everybody keeps saying it's the Jacob, same star as Jesus.
I'll show you that next. I'm going there.
Well, I read up on it.
More exciting
when
than
I
that.
Googled it, it automatically sent me links, and one of the links was a TikTok link, so I clicked it, and it sent it to the video that somebody made in my live, and they tagged me in it, and it said Chana Paul's star Vega equals the Jacob star. Well, that
when you see it in the night sky, you can see a little bit of the color. You know, when you look at the star and it's twinkling, it's usually just white, and you zoom in on it, it's like white or yellowish a little bit, right? This thing has like a blue, green, red aura to it. It's or glow to
That's
it.
supposed
Very,
to be a
very
star.
Yeah, that's the star, bro.
Like a party there.
And some people have called it Jacob's comet. That's not a comet. That's a star. Okay, so here's where it gets wild. Bear with me here. Jacob's star.
Jacob was the father of, well, Jacob became Israel, right?
Yeah. So this is where it gets wild. The star prophecy and the figure of the Davidic servant are intertwined within the context of the messianic expectations and prophecies of both Jewish and Christian traditions. The star prophecies from number 24:17 speaks of a star rising out of Jacob, which symbolically refers to a future ruler or deliverer from Israel. That's why that guy was saying it happened after Iran shot all those bombs, because they're making these connections that this is a deliverer of Israel. But it's not a political deliverer of Israel. It's a spiritual deliverer of Israel. This future ruler is often understood to be the Davidic servant, a figure tied to the royal line of David in the fulfillment of Israel's promises and covenants. Goes through and talks about the messianic lineage, talks about it a little bit more in Jeremiah and Isaiah. Fulfillment of prophecy. Let me get to if there's a summary here. The star prophecy in Numbers 24:17 connects directly to the Davidic servant through its messianic symbolism of leadership, kingship, defeat of Israel's enemies. In LDS theology, the Davidic servant is seen as a future leader who will prepare the way for Christ's return by gathering Israel, leading them in righteousness, and establishing Zion. Let's go, Zion. The servant fulfills the messianic expectations of a ruler from the Davidic from the line of David, often depicted as a warrior, shepherd, redeemer, tasked with completing the covenants made with the house of Jacob. The star prophecy thus serves as both a symbolic hope and a prophetic marker for the Davidic servants. So, guys, here we are, right? Like in these last days with all of the signs in the heaven, and you know, we're doing a Tesla giveaway as a joke to be like, connect us to the Davidic servant. And guys, as you guys know, we're joking about that, but we're looking, we're hoping, we're wanting Israel to be redeemed.
Hey, we've talked to Trevor. We have talked to guys, and we're going to have them on the show.
Yeah,
that say they are the Davidic servant, and we're seeing all the signs, so you never know.
We talked to a guy last week or maybe 10 days ago, and he's the Davidic servant, according to him. And we asked him, will you come on our podcast? He's like, absolutely. And we're like, what? You will? And we don't think he is. But that doesn't matter. He thinks he is, and we just thought it'd be entertaining to bring him on and talk about it. And he's got some amazing stories, and he believes it, right? He believes that he is.
Totally.
But how cool is it? We're talking about the wars and rumors of wars. Look where Israel's at. Like, Israel has 7 states that are at declared war with them right now. If Russia comes in, and North Korea, we're talking 9 states at war with Israel. Israel's in big, big, big trouble. And they, meaning the Jews, the Pharisees, they rejected Jesus as the Davidic servant the first time because he didn't come in and basically kick out the Romans and conquer and destroy and regulate. The Davidic servant will do that. That is what his mission is, to sit on the throne of David and to usher in the coming of Christ. And so we're having all these signs, and one of the signs is Jacob's star, which is the star of the Davidic servant with the scepter in his hand. I mean, give me a break. Okay, there's more. What is it? Oh,
Other page.
By the way, all this is amazing, Trevor.
Bro, this is cool. Constellation alignment. Okay. Some interpreters look to specific alignments of planets and constellations as a fulfillment of Revelation 12:14. The alignment of the planets in 2024, particularly October the 9th, when certain celestial pattern, October the 9th again, guys, all of this stuff is just like end of September, October, like what is going on? So I'm just going to play this video, and Dave, I'm going to also post it or text it to you so you can put it in the link, because it's 30 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're only going to watch like 5 minutes of it.
So put it in the description.
Yeah, you can put it in the description. I'll send you a text.
What if, 2,000 years ago, someone predicted the position of every visible planet in the stars on October 9th, 2024? The odds are astronomical. And yet, the book of Revelation appears to describe the future sky without telescopes, mathematics, or computers.
By the way, our boy John wrote this.
Will reveal over a dozen signs from Revelation that appear in the stars on October 9th, and among them are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. John would be more likely to win the lottery and then get struck by lightning than to randomly describe a specific night 2,000 years in advance. The math required to model the movement of planets was not discovered until 1,600 years after the book of Revelation was penned. Yet it appears to have been revealed to John while in prison on the Isle of Patmos. Part of what makes this sign so impressive is that there are prophecies that predict the exact date the sign would appear. Over 5 independent prophecies that provide the number of years from 6 known historic events to the year 2024, and even more incredible, many of these prophecies have historic milestones that have already been fulfilled. Other prophets provide details that tell us the day of the year. If you are skeptical about whether there is a God and whether you can trust the Bible, then consider this. The essence of prophecy is to give a witness for Jesus. Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. This film highlights the prophecies in the Bible that appear to predict the stars thousands of years in advance in a manner that we believe gives clear witness to or evidence of Jesus. If His Word can predict the stars on October 9th, perhaps we should carefully consider what it says about the coming judgment. To that end, the book of Zechariah provides detailed descriptions and measurements of nuclear missiles. Could this be the coming judgment by fire foretold throughout the Bible? Could it really be coming this year? If so, you have got to see these amazing signs in the stars before it is too late. There are at least 5 independent prophecies that directly point to the year 2024 from many different books of the Bible. Each of these prophecies is unpacked with scripture, translation justifications, and historical evidence in their own videos at october9th.com, but we will summarize them here. The 5th prophecy that points to 2024 is really many separate prophecies scattered throughout the Bible. in countless parables that tell us that Jesus will return after 2,000 years and will reign for 1,000 years. Jesus left in 31 AD and will return to reign in 2031 AD, which would make 2024 the start of the 7-year tribulation before his return. Collectively, these prophecies provide year counts to the year 2024 from 6 independent and
I don't know if I agree with those dates, but let's not get lost on the dates.
well-known historical events whose dates can be verified from both scriptural and secular sources. These events include the 1406 BC Jordan River crossing, the 598 BC capture of Jerusalem in Nebuchadnezzar's 7th year, the 31 AD crucifixion, the 692 AD construction of the Dome of the Rock, the 1535 AD order to rebuild Jerusalem, and the 1948 AD formation of Israel. Of these events, half also represent prophesied milestones in the timeline to the tribulation. Daniel gave the time to the crucifixion, the Dome of the Rock, and the order to rebuild Jerusalem a second time, hundreds and even thousands of years in advance. If the first 3 milestones came to pass against all odds, what are the chances the rest of the prophecy comes to pass on schedule? The fourth prophecy that points to 2024 is known as the fig tree generation. Jesus tells us that the generation that sees Israel become a nation will not pass away until everything he described comes to pass. And Psalms 90 tells us the days of our life are 80 years, which end with labor and sorrow, and then we fly away. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and puts forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass until all these things are fulfilled. Matthew chapter 24, verses 33 through 34. The fig tree represents Israel, and Israel became a nation in May 1948. Psalms 90 defines a generation and also provides a prophecy that is directly relevant. The days of our years are 70, and if by reason of strength they are 80 years, yet their ending is travail and iniquity, for our days are soon cut short, and we fly away. Psalm 90, verse 10. 80 years from 1948 is 2028, the very year of the abomination's desolation we discussed previously. After this desolation, Israel flies away on eagle's wings, according to Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, where she is nourished for a time, times and a half a time. Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. It is through this verse that we know that the fig tree generation ends at the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation, because time, times, and a half time means 3.5 years. If you subtract 3.5 years from 2028, you end up in fall 2024. The second prophecy that points to 2024 comes from Daniel chapter 12, which gives us the timeline to the desolation of the abomination. Daniel tells us the number of years from the taking away of sacrifices in 598 BC until the abomination of desolation at the midpoint of a 7-year tribulation. And from the...
Okay. We're going to pause it there. Yeah. So in summing it all up, something's happening in 2024, right? So I like how he said, this would be the equivalent of John hitting the lottery and then getting struck by lightning at the same time. Okay. That's just this part of it. Then take on this Jacob star, Betelgeuse, Atlas comet, Aurora Borealis, mini moon, right? Like all of these things are happening in September on in 2024. So it's just like, to me, there's like alarm bells going off. I'm seeing it. I'm being like, what's happening, right? Like, what is happening? These are the signs of the time. Dave, thoughts on all this?
It's insane seeing everything line up. I don't think anybody could deny that something's not going on. I mean, with everything lined up. I mean, it's so insane to see one after the next, after the next, after the next. And it's not stopping. It's not
How about
stopping.
the white buffalo prophecy?
Yeah, that. Oh my goodness.
I know we're forgetting others. If you guys can remember others, put it in the chat. It's absolutely wild. I did see one that I don't really know how to interpret this, but the Native Americans have an eagle woman symbol. And you know, that's talking about the two-winged eagle scooping them up. One thing I thought of when I heard that is, you know, America's symbol is the eagle, and who's going to have to come in and swoop up and save Israel when everyone comes attack them? I mean, it's going to be us, whether we like it or not. We're the defender of Israel. So that's it, man, Dave. That's my signs of the time, signs in the heavens. I mean, it's cool. It's fun. You know, it makes me like say, okay, I need to get my life in order a little bit better. And, you know, like
it'll be time.
Start making a to-do list, right? And I don't think we need to get panicky right now. We know that the tribulation hasn't happened. We haven't seen the abomination of desolation, whatever that's called.
I wonder what that's going to look like.
It's going to look like something bad at the Temple Mount, right? I mean, that's what it is. And it's something to do with the Antichrist. And we know that the Antichrist is going to sit on David's throne, which is in Israel, right? And so something to the effect of an overthrow of Israel. And it talks about this big peace accord, this worldwide peace accord. Many people are saying it's like the global religion. Well, something happened on October the 2nd of this year where the United Nations signed this massive peace accord. First time ever. And people are saying that the reason why they signed it is because they're going to force Israel to partition Palestine and give them their own country. But a lot of the evangelicals are seeing that as the fulfillment of, I think, a Daniel 12 prophecy, which is the beginning of the tribulation, right? And so, you know, there's a lot of things we can do to get in order. I think spiritually is the most important thing you can do to get in order. I get people messaging me all the time, and people like hitting up our Instagram and our Twitter and asking us like, should I be, you know, stockpiling food and goods and stuff? You know, and my answer is like, well, it's always
going to the temple.
What's that?
You should be going to the temple.
You should be getting worthy so you can get into the temple. And if you are worthy, you should be getting to the temple. But I think it's always a good move to stockpile your reserves. You know, like you're always going to be able to, if you're smart with your food storage, like work through that. It's of course smart to have, you know, 50-gallon barrel of water. You know, it's probably a smart thing if you can start saving some money aside and have some hard cash, maybe some gold and some silver, you know, some different stuff like that. But there's definitely something going on. And, you know, I know that in the late 1990s, there were a lot of people that were like, 2000's it, man. We're coming up on the millennium. It's 2,000 years since Christ was born. And a lot of people, Mike Rigby told us this. He says there were a lot of people that thought that 2000 was going to happen, but there weren't.
No, I thought that the Y2K was kind of crazy, but I didn't think it was about that. I didn't realize that. That's when I got baptized. So I was kind of being woken to all this spiritual stuff. Do you think that's why people were crazy in 2000?
Yeah. Dude, I gotta put this up because people in our comments always like, it's not a buffalo, it's a bison. It's like, okay. If it's good enough for the Native Americans to call it the white buffalo prophecy, and trust me, we went up there and we hung out with them and they called it a buffalo.
We have a whole video about it.
How about we don't culturally appropriate and tell them what to call their prophecy?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I know it's a bison. Okay. So it's okay to call it a buffalo. Let's not get caught up in these verbal semantics, right? What we're pointing out is these guys, non-Christian, have their own prophecies, and they're being like, something's happening. This event that's happening, Dave, on the 26th with Mitiga and the Cherokee Nation, they believe that they're going into a new era, right? The Buddhas believe that the great Maitreya is coming, and that we're ushering into a new era. All of the New Age movements believe that we're moving into Aquarius, right? Like right now, we're moving into Aquarius, moving from a whole new sign. And so there's tons of stuff that is happening. So, okay, we'll put a pin in that. And it's Dave and I are going to open it up. Shane, as you guys know, Shane has an early bedtime. And so Shane needed to get to sleep. If you couldn't tell, he was a little bit sleepy coming into this pod. And so we said, go ahead and leave. Dave and I are going to go for 7 more hours. And Dave committed to stay in for 7 more hours. And if you don't know, what was it, Dave? Thursday? Wednesday?
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember when
Thursday,
it was.
I think.
We set a world record, okay, for the longest LDS podcast. 5 hours, 15 minutes. And we did it spontaneously because Stick of Joseph, respect, they did a 5 hour or 4 hour and 54 minute podcast. So we set out to break that record, and we did it. And tonight we're going for 7 hours.
Hey, I gotta say thanks to people who saw me on Ward Radio today.
I was going to bring that up. And by the way, I just want to say real quick before we talk about it, we're not going for 7 hours. We're going for 24 more minutes, 34 more minutes. So come along with us, guys, and we're going to open it up to some questions. And we're going to let you guys get a little interactive. And one thing that's really fun is David and I are going to do this once a week. We're going to do a late night podcast.
Yes.
And we haven't decided if we're calling it Midnight Zion.
It's not bad. I like that.
Not bad. Or something like that, right? Like Ward Radio's name used to be Midnight Mormons.
Yeah.
They threw that away. So why don't we grab that one?
I think we could.
We could. Okay. So speaking of Ward Radio, bro, super fun. You were on Ward Radio tonight. You are on Ward Radio tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. They, they're fans or people who maybe they're Zionites here. But they suggested that I come back on, and I got a chance to sit down with them, basically to record my conversion story, which we've posted a version of it here. And yeah, they really, I think that they weren't expecting what I had to share. So, and what's crazy in the comments is people were calling me David the Lion Douglas on.
Yeah, you guys, we want you guys to go to Ward Radio and comment and shout out Dave and the Lion Douglas. Give a little shout out for Zion Media if you want as well. And
170 people right now could go right now. 170 people watching this right now could go to Ward Radio's episode of me. And
if they do it right now, we'll lose all of our viewers. So do it when we end. Do it when we end. But go on there and give a shout out to David the Lion Douglas. Give a shout out to Zion Media. Guys, we want to collaborate more with Ward Radio, with Stick of Joseph, with Seawick and these guys. We know we're just the new kids on the block. We know we're like little brother. We don't have like this big ego or whatever. But we really would like to collaborate more with these guys. And I think all of them, I think Ward Radio and Stick of Joseph should be collaborating more, and Seawick and all these different guys. And it's good for all of us. We're all after the same thing. We all believe in the same things. And so go on there, give David a shout out. We just lost 3 people that went over there and did it, Dave. They're like, I'm going right now. David's on there. So Dave, so people don't leave. Tell us what you guys talked about.
Oh yeah, they asked about my conversion story, and if you haven't already heard it, basically I went into a little bit of my background. I went into how I, as a kid used to play Legos all the time. And while I was at a friend's house, he had this Christian pamphlet right at his nightstand. And I asked him about it. And it was like a little comic strip about a guy trying to convince another guy to look at the light. So basically it was shaded from dark to light, each panel. And I went through my dream. I don't know if you knew that, but it was a dream that brought me to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I learned that my dream had connections to the Bible, and I'd never read the Bible before. A couple verses in the Bible talk about really what I saw. I don't know if I want to share all the details, but I want you to check out the video. But then after I saw that, I had later in my life asked God to lead me where He wanted me to be, which eventually introduced me to a person who was a kid that was talking about the priesthood at a Christian event. Really odd place. So it was a lot of fun and really great to.
Did you guys talk anything else besides your testimony story?
I actually name dropped in the Minha before the video ended.
Did they publish it?
I don't know. I didn't get to take a look at it. I
amazing.
was in the middle of watching it. It was getting a little chaotic before the live. So
All right.
but you'll have to check. Come back and tell me if that's what they ended up, because Cardin actually asked me what the Nemenha were, and he, after the pod was over, he was suggesting maybe to have me back on to talk about it.
Listen, we're all brothers in this thing, right? And we all have family members, and you always have one that's a little bit out there, and you're just worried. You know, he's like, I hope his testimony's strong enough. He's studying some wild things. That's us. We know that, right? Stick of Joseph is like your brother that's just like just straight and narrow, and Word Radio. You know, they're a little bit over there with us, but we realize we're a little bit out there.
Stick of Joseph's, they just stay in their lane.
Yeah,
they don't do any of this.
Yeah, so we kind of get that, and no big deal. But that's cool, man. That was really cool going on there, and I love seeing those. The Lion, David the Lion. Okay, I was telling a friend about. Let's see what this is. Sean Kruger, what up? Shout out, Sean. I was telling a friend about the Nemenha and thought it would be fun to start a study group and stream it. Oh, that's a good idea, bro.
Ooh, that sounds awesome, John.
Okay,
hey,
so
real quick, I did save a bunch of questions, and there were some questions about the event. I just figured
perfect, because that's what I want to do. I wanted to go to questions. If you're still around, we are still at 140 viewers. Thanks for watching, guys. So we're going to go through these starred questions, and then if you have other questions, guys, throw it in there. If they're off-topic questions, if you want to know anything about us or any questions of any of the stuff we've covered, throw it in the comments, and we're going to go for 28 minutes.
Okay, so Saturday morning. What's happening Saturday morning, Trevor?
Saturday morning is we're going to go to Liberty Jail. I don't know if that's in the morning or whatever. It's the Templo. People are going to the Kansas City Temple. If you want to do a session, you can go head out to that.
Very nice.
And then we're going to go to Liberty after that. So Liberty's probably going to happen more like 12/1. And the Cherokee Nation event is Saturday night. So, we'll hit that out. Okay. What time is the ceremony on Saturday? 7:00.
Okay.
Are we sure about that supernova? Well, we're not sure when it's going to go off. No, I mean, it could be 10,000 more years, right? But they've been saying for a decade that it's 10,000 years, and then it doubled in size in September. And now they're all being like, oh, it could happen faster, right? It also was flickering every 400 days, and now it's every 200 days. It's now the brightest star in the sky. We're sure about that. But we're not sure when it's going to go supernova. Oh, lion roar. They want you, David, is it okay if you lion roar on Sunday? Like, does it take anything away from you, or does it actually boost up your Espiritu Santo?
Well, how about I answer with...
Good thing it cut out, bro. That would have hurt a lot of people's ears. But that was good. That was super good. There was a lot of people, I think I told you, Dave, in the comments on our short, YouTube short, that, I think they're older people, and they're like, the music is so loud, I don't even like it. I like the loud music.
I was calling some folks from the contact form today, and I was talking to this one sister, and she was saying that she was impressed with the lion roar last time.
Bro, it was money last time. This time the audio cut out. You couldn't tell on your side, so it wasn't that loud. But hey, I like this one even better, Dave. Let's give us a meow. Sunday meow.
A Sunday meow.
Like it's like a rawr type
Hey,
deal.
just so you know, I'm not really a cat person, but I think I have a pretty good meow.
Whoa. No, that's pretty solid. Yeah, that is pretty solid. Okay. Other questions, Dave? There's more in the queue.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Oh, hey, here's Trevor's my kind of dude.
Shem and I eat Vietnamese food together.
Oh, what city is the Utah watch party in?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake. Okay, that's
Salt Lake
right.
City, and if
It's
you
in the
go,
description,
yeah, it's in
actually.
the description. You can click on it. I think there's details in there. And Chrissa, you could probably tell us exactly where in Salt Lake City in the comments. South Jordan. Thank you, Chrissa. Okay, what does this one say?
Okay.
Did you know anyone that renews their driver's license is automatically registered for selective service? Doesn't matter your age or a guy or a girl. That sounds like the biggest conspiracy theory I've ever heard. Register. Hey, let me teach you a trick about driver's licenses, okay? I was in the Arizona driver's license bureau or whatever you call them with a friend of mine getting a custom license plate. And I'm sitting there and I saw a sign and it's like, you need, what you need to get a driver's license, 2 forms of ID. So I walked up and I'm like, could I get an Arizona license or driver's license? And the reason why is they don't expire for like 30 years. Mine expires in like 20, like
Whoa.
50 or something like that, right?
I just learned I had to go get a new ID before I got my passport for Mexico. I learned that they upped the ID to 8 years for Utah.
All right, that's better. But I mean, dude, there's no way I'm ever renewing my driver's license. It's like 2050 or something like that. Like if Jesus ain't here by then, bro, I hope I'm translated or something. Maybe I'm at Mars with Elon Musk or something like that, Okay. Trevor, I heard that there is a draft happening here in the United States. Is that true? No. Okay. Is LDC coming on tonight? No. I'm picking up LDC at the airport tomorrow night at 11, and I'm driving bro to Tremonton to do him a solid. Oh, he just texted me right now. Let's see what he just said here.
That's why. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but the picture isn't showing up on my view on the live. Is you guys' picture picking up?
Oh, never mind. It's back is what he just texted.
All right. Anyone ever go to Mr. BB333? I don't even know what that is. That sounds so cryptic.
Yeah, that's not confusing. Oh, Chrissy. And there you go. Yeah, we already did that.
We already did that.
So no more questions.
Hopi prophecy. Dude, I need to understand the Hopi prophecy more, to be honest with you. But I believe it is happening right now. Sol, what can you tell us about the Hopi prophecy?
I'm asking GPT.
Oh, here's another one right here. The eagle and the condor prophecy all fits with the restoration. Oh, bro, write both of these down. The eagle and the condor prophecy. Let's ask GPT what it says.
I'm asking right now.
Oh, Chris is saying that thing's a YouTube channel. No, never heard of it. We work closely with the doc, Alan. Okay.
Okay, I got the Hopi prophecy.
Yes, check this out really quick. Shem goes, Trevor, you and Latter-day Chad should walk the streets of Tremont declaring repentance to them all. Do you know what that's about?
No, what is it?
Remember, it was late. You might have been sleeping in our late night podcast. But Shem came on and talked about the dreams and visions and how the earthquake starts in Tremont, and that's where the riverhead breaks out that floods all of Utah. And Chad's like, is it going to flood Tremont? And he's like, yes. And he's like, that's where I live. So
he's going to move.
He's laughing. He's laughing. Okay, what does the Hopi prophecy say?
Okay, it's a set of spiritual teachings and predictions passed down by the Hopi, primarily centered on the themes of environmental stewardship, peace, and balance between humanity and nature. The people residing in northeastern Arizona believe that there are caretakers of the earth and that the prophecies shared over many generations offer insights about the future of humanity and the planet. So there's some key elements. Cycle of worlds. Oh, that's wild. 4 different worlds. and humanity has destroyed 3 worlds before the current one due to greed. Signs of the end of the 4th world. Okay. Blue star and red star. Has a weird name, Kachina. Reminds me of my tia Cachita.
Kachina makes me want to eat Italian food, bro.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of my own Cuban food. So, and then it's got 2 paths. So there's a lot of interest. Great purification. Oh, that's relevant. Purification process, cleansing it of corruption that has taken hold. This could evolve into a series of natural and human-made catastrophes. But those who live in harmony, sounds like Zion, with the earth and spiritual teachings will survive to rebuild a new world. Holy crap. That sounds like Zion. Okay, and then there's a condor prophecy. Oh, you want to read that one?
No, tell us about the condor prophecy. I forgot about that.
Okay, so condor prophecy is a powerful ancient prophecy originating from various indigenous cultures of the Americas, particularly among the Andean, oh, that's wild, Amazonian people in South America. The prophecy speaks of a time when the human race will be divided into 2 paths, symbolized by the eagle and the condor, and foretells their eventual reunion. Oh, that sounds like Ephraim and Manasseh, maybe. Or maybe something else, signaling a time of great change and transformation. So the 2 paths, looks like eagle is one path and the condor is another. It talks about the separation, the reunion, a new era, and then a call for global change. And there's some other stuff here like modern so there's some modern interpretations about it. So that's interesting.
All right. Good question here. What do you know about Joseph Smith's white horse prophecy? We did a whole episode on it. You can go back into our timeline, and it's under Latter-day Conspiracies. In fact, let me just open it up while we're sitting here, and I'll show y'all where it's at. And we
This next question.
Yeah, go for it.
Interested.
Yeah, read that one while I'm
Okay.
this up.
Yeah, so Trevor, do you know where there's a gathering in the wilderness that will happen? Mitiga mentioned that he is leaving at some point into the wilderness before the shaking.
Well, Mitiga talked about a vision that he saw, and he called the Latter-day Saints to head west to Missouri in 7 years. So that's what I think we're talking about here.
Well, you can either do it 7 years early, or you could do it when the time comes. Is Jesus an Aquarius? Ooh, that's a good question. I think he is. I remember that being the case.
Jesus is an Aquarius?
Yeah, when that was his. That's what his sign was. I think Shane might be able to. He might know a little bit about that too.
Okay.
We're bringing something.
This is it.
Oh, look at that. I feel like I'm looking into the past.
Yeah.
So Latter-day Conspiracies is it? White Horse Prophecy.
Would literally be hanging by a thread, bro. And like, what happens is like one of the saints or like the elders of the church are pretty much gonna like save the church.
What's this guy?
Save the country.
Save the country. Yes. Okay. So you want to see the video on it? Here we go. This guy debunks it. We're going to talk about it after.
Okay. Hey guys, so whenever a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints runs for political office, you might start to hear talk about something called the white horse prophecy. People both inside and outside our faith understandably have lots of questions about what that prophecy is and whether or not it's legit. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the white horse prophecy is purportedly a prophecy given by Joseph Smith in 1843 in the presence of 2 other people, Edwin Rushton and Theodore Turley. The earliest written record we have of the prophecy is from Edwin Rushton, written sometime after 1890. Rushton would have been around 70-ish years old, recalling an event from when he was about 20 years old. And Turley wouldn't have been much help because he was super dead by the 1890s.
You've got to see it.
He's super dead. But according to the prophecy, at some point in the future, you will see the Constitution of the United States almost destroyed so that it will only be saved, as it were, by a thread.
Boom, there it is, guys. Turn off the video, go to bed. See you later, Zion Media. Just kidding, we'll keep going.
And it would be saved by the white horse and red horse combined in its defense. Okay, so in the book of Revelation, we read about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. We are the 4 horsemen. Good night. They ride on a white horse, a red horse, a black horse, and a pale horse. In the white horse prophecy, the white horse represents members of the church. An interpretation of what the red horse represents is not given. It is hinted that the black horse represents freed slaves of African descent. And the pale horse represents the people of the United States. So according to the prophecy, the white horse, or the church, along with whatever the red horse is, are somehow to save the Constitution. Now, while the white horse prophecy gets talked about a lot, what most people don't know is that the church does not consider it legitimate.
I'm not legit. I'm unlegit. And for that reason, I must quit.
In 1918, after copies of a revision of the prophecy started gaining popularity, President Joseph F. Smith said in General Conference, "The ridiculous story about the red horse and the black horse and the white horse, and a lot of trash that has been circulated about and printed and sent around as a great revelation given by the prophet Joseph Smith, was never spoken by the prophet in the manner in which they have put it forth. It is simply false. That is all there is to it."
Bro, why they gotta be stepping on our fun conspiracies?
Did you see that?
Just a bunch of trash.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of trash, you guys. Hey, what if he really did say it? I'm gonna keep going.
More recently, you've got this quote from Bruce R. McConkie. From time to time, accounts of various supposed visions, revelations, and prophecies are spread forth by and among the Latter-day Saints who should know better than to believe or spread such false information. One of these false and deceptive documents that has cropped up again and again for over a century is the so-called White Horse Prophecy.
Okay, wait. Mormon Doctrine by Bruce R. McConkie, right? I love that book. I grew up on it as like a teenager after my mission. And I think it's kind of funny right now. The church treats Mormon Doctrine, his book, kind of the way that he's talking about the white horse prophecy.
Totally.
I love that book. I love all the stuff in there. Like, no, none of that's true. It was all made up.
Totally, but they'll use a quote from Bruce R. McConkie when it fits. Oh, Bruce R. McConkie said this. We like this, but yeah, Mormon Doctrine, that's trash.
Yeah, if I was his family, like grandson or whatever, I'd be bothered. I'd be like going to the church office being like, bros, can we talk about how you could say that better?
Well, for some time, they really used the
Mormon Doctrine.
Is
remember like in high school and early marriage, like it was brought up in class.
Yeah, it was like legit. And in Mormon
if you quoted from that, it was like almost as good as canon. People were like, oh wow, they're quoting from Mormon Doctrine. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's how it was growing up until about in my 20s. I think they started to come and say.
If you dig deep on Mormon Doctrine, you find out that he wasn't supposed to release it. He did release it. And then the brethren made him go in and make like a bunch of edits to it.
Yeah, that's why you got to have the first or second edition. It's got all the gems, all of his original position. Yeah, what was his position? You can find those first and second editions online now for nothing, which is so nice, the internet. Back in the day, I had to buy that. Okay, we're gonna finish this. This guy's just gonna totally talk trash on it.
This supposed prophecy purports to be a long and detailed account by the prophet Joseph Smith concerning the wars, turmoils, and difficulties which should exist in the last days. And even more recently, in 2010, the church made the following statement: "The so-called White Horse Prophecy is based on accounts that have not been substantiated by historical research and is not embraced as church doctrine." There are lots of issues with Edwin Rushton's recollection of the event, which you can read all about via the links in the description. But you may be wondering, if the church has disavowed this prophecy so many times, why do people still think it's actually a thing? That is an excellent question. Well, probably because parts of it are based on more reliable statements and parts are not. For example, what you're looking at right now, which you can pause and read if you'd like, are multiple statements reporting that on multiple occasions Joseph talked about the Constitution of the United States being in danger in the future and the Latter-day Saints having a role in preserving it. Brigham Young and several other church leaders have referenced this idea of the Constitution one day hanging by a thread. Thus, while not canonized in Scripture, Latter-day Saints generally believe this specific detail to be prophetic. But you'll notice that in none of these accounts is anything said whatsoever of these different colored horses until the Rushton account decades later. Hence the folklore status of this horse business.
Why didn't you say that in the first place? That's a horse of a different color. Come on in.
But even
Okay, I'm gonna just stop it there. So to me, that doesn't disprove it at all.
No, I mean, it's actually saying that Joseph Smith said that the Constitution hang by a thread. What he's trying to say is that the part of the prophecy that an LDS guy would become president, that's what they're trying to debunk there.
Yeah.
But clearly the prophecy is America would be where America is right now.
So listen to this, okay? So he went in and was like, well, that was never, Bruce R. McConkie said this about it, and Joseph Fielding Smith said this about it. Well, let me tell you what people that quoted from it and talked about it, okay? So Orson Hyde, 1858. Apostle Orson Hyde made a statement that was frequently referenced in discussions about the prophecy. He reportedly said, when the Constitution of the United States hangs, as it were, upon a single thread, they will have to call for the Mormon elders to save it from utter destruction, and they will step forth and do it. Ezra Taft Benson frequently spoke about the importance of the U.S. Constitution and the prophecy regarding its preservation. In 1986 General Conference, talk titled "The Constitution, the Heavenly Banner," he said, "I have faith that the Constitution will be saved as prophesied by Joseph Smith." Okay, wait, what? As prophesied by Joseph Smith. So what prophecy is he talking about? This is the prophecy. But it will not be saved in Washington. It will be saved by the citizens of this nation who love and cherish freedom. It will be saved by the enlightened members of this church.
Let me just say the enlightened members of the church. That's an interesting phrase for him to throw in there.
Yeah, what is that? That's a Easter egg, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah, who will subscribe to abide by the principles of the Constitution. And then lastly, J. Reuben Clark, First Presidency, expressed his belief in the prophecy and emphasized the importance of the Constitution. He stated, "You and I have heard all our lives that the time may come when the Constitution may hang by a thread, and if it does, we will be the ones who will step." All right, there you go. That's the white horse business. Oh, we got some boys jumping in.
Hey.
Yo.
I'm only going to be in for a minute because, like I said, I'm going to be fasting for like a week. And I just ate an entire pizza, and now I'm eating like 4 cans of tuna, just to get the protein and the omega-3s in my system. But yeah,
Love it. We're gonna drop in someone who is incognito. Look at Doc. What's up, Doc?
Is that L?
I
Hey.
don't know who it is. What's up, Doc?
Happening. Oh,
Welcome.
yeah.
Bro looks like a Gadianton.
Guess I'm not the only one who had the whole sunglasses idea.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this a little bit because this next thing that I'm going to pop up, it's our Discord server. And LDC, I want you to talk about this a little bit because you know Discord from
What about the feedback?
From Ward Radio.
I did get kicked out of their Discord by the moderators for talking about the Deuteronomists.
Okay, let me share my screen and see if this pops up. You guys see this?
I got to mute.
Good. You can see it.
Okay, cool. So Dog named Bingo. Those of you who know Dog, he was a stud. He said, "Are you guys ever going to do a Discord server?" And we're like, "Bro, we're barely pumping out 1 video a day. If you can do it, it would be awesome." And so he volunteered on his own, spent several weeks working on this. And I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour of this.
There we go.
LDC, tell us how this is valuable and what the purpose of a Discord server is and how it can help create community engagement and why it's better than just the chat.
Well, I mean, with this, you're going to have all the guys, not just like running Zion Media, but all the guests who come on who are going to be a part of this chat probably. You can ask them questions. there will be a section to suggest episodes, right? So instead of just hoping that they see the comment, there will be a section where you can suggest a video option, and if it's a good idea, people will upvote it, people will comment it, and we will see it, right? So it's kind of letting, if a video suggestion is a good idea, letting the people decide, right? So it sort of forms just this information engagement where there's going to be a conversation flowing as well about whether it be like apocryphal texts or something. Here's something interesting. Speaking of apocrypha, that so when we talk about the Deuteronomist stuff and we talk about the alterations to the Old Testament, you want to know something crazy? All of these apocryphal books that were found later, like the Book of Enoch. This isn't my main Book of Enoch. I have that packed away because I'm packing my stuff. This is one that some homeowner gave to a closer for solar, and he gave them a Book of Mormon, and then he ended up giving it to me. But the Book of Enoch mentions the Son of Man descending up to God far more than the Old Testament does. So does the Book of Jubilees, which is essentially an older version of Genesis. So does Jasher, right? All these books that didn't make it into the Bible, that were found in places like the Dead Sea Scrolls, very clearly talk about Jesus Christ, and that's why it's important, is because the people who decided the canon of the Old Testament were the ones who stoned Jesus Christ. Trevor, have you ever noticed at the Book of Mormon at its start how it talks about all the prophets that were stoned for prophesying of the Messiah? Right? Lehi mentions that. And so does Jesus in the New Testament. Where are they? Where are they in the Old Testament? The only thing I hear about getting stoned is idolaters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, it was a thing. Okay, full circle back to this really quick. I wanted to show you guys a quick little tour if I can get my tech to come back. Where is my okay, here's my Discord server. So you can ask the moderator a question, you can look into reactions, go to the YouTube feed. And let's see here. Read the rules. One thing that you can do is you can friend somebody. So let's say that you have someone on the chat that you want to be friends with. You can find them here, send them a friend request, and then have one-on-one messages with them. This has got all of our YouTube feed. You can suggest new topics in here. I saw somebody say that they wanted, I just barely saw it in the comments, do a video on the Dream Mine. You don't have permission to post in this channel. Oh, that's sad. Be the first. Oh, there we go. I wonder why I don't have permission. Maybe I need to accept my email. Maybe.
Yeah, I think we need to adjust it so that anybody can post a thread in there because that's kind of the point.
Okay.
Well, in Discord, what happens is sometimes there's rules. We have to double check with Dog, but honestly, you can join this Discord right now.
Oh, here it is right here. You must claim your account. So I gotta go to my email to be able to do everything in here.
Yeah.
Newsroom, testimony, prayer roll. If you Quentin's wife, as you guys heard, got diagnosed with some autoimmune disease. If you want to give some love there. Pictures. Hey, look, I'm the only one that's put it in there. General. Oh, we got some people in here. We got some chatter. We got Bingo, LDC. I saw HR in there. But the cool thing about this is, I think, if you click on this, you can add them as a friend. See that? Wait, are you human? Yes. Scared.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, I'm in a few different Discord servers here with this sort of stuff, and there is so much conversation. Like, honestly, on Discord, this is where a lot of that sort of deep doctrine stuff bubbles up before it blows up on like YouTube or something, right? So if you have like good ideas that you want to share, this is the place, right? Because what we're really trying to do is this sort of enlightening awakening. Something I realized the other day. So in the Book of Mormon, everything's a warning for us, but the most important books are the last three, right? The Book of Ether right after brother of Jared sees the hand of the Lord, it basically says that the Gentiles in chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, basically says that they will be under condemnation until they can practice having faith like the brother of Jared does, which is almost exactly what Elder Holland said. So these sort of conversations, like talking about these ideas, spreading this enlightenment, the more of these things get spread around, the more faith you will gain and the more elevated we will be as a collective.
100%. And just a great way to chat, because I mean it's so limited, and you want to contact somebody that's in our chat, right? You can say go to the Discord server, and so we're going to put a link to this. And Dave, maybe you can do it multitasking as we're talking in our link tree, where you guys know how to get to our link tree right through our Zion Media YouTube channel. So let's see here. Do you have a link to your Discord server? We're going to throw it in our link tree. You'll be able to get access to that. Dave, do you need the link? Oh, it's on the Zion Boys group chat.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And so we're running up on time, but I'm curious who this enigmatic Doc is, and if he's come to drop some enlightenment and knowledge on us. Doc,
Yeah.
what's going on, man? What's your story? Where are you coming
How's it
from?
going? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
I work better behind in a supportive role, and if you go to my YouTube, look up at the Rexburg video.
What's your YouTube?
Pure Spins. Pure Spins.
What?
Pure.
Your voice sounds familiar. Have we talked before? I think I know who you are.
We may have.
Okay.
But I'm better incognito.
Yeah.
Trevor, all right, we're all glassed up. The
Yeah.
lion, everybody's glassed. And sometimes I think that's the important thing is to work behind the scenes and supporting those who carry the voice and have the message. And
the guy in the chair.
I was gonna give your YouTube a shout out, but I can't hear what you're saying. What's the name of it? Pure what?
PURESPINS.
Pure Spins.
Yeah, it's
channel.
You can link. You can link.
Does it have Does it have the Leonardo da Vinci, the Truvio Man on it? Whatever that's called. Is that yours?
I love the Renaissance.
You want to know something funny, guys?
Renaissance
Just
man.
before this, I was listening to Huey Lewis and the News music from Back to the Future, and then I come in here.
There you go. That's.
And this guy's named Doc. It's perfect. it's
There
a
we go.
synchronicity.
There is synchronicity. When we're on the path, an aligned path, things fall into sync and things become clear. That's my experience. With Dr. David Allen, he and I we're synced up on some, let's just call it millennial alignments. And then when I found a star that was destined for Midiga, and I found my drop of Shawnee.
What's that star?
The star?
Yeah.
It's the priesthood star of Melchizedek.
Oh.
It's the one in Ojibwe. And
yeah. We know that
all
one.
the natives have it. So
it tracked us down in a restaurant after the
oh yeah.
After the Wisconsin.
That was crazy. It wasn't just that, it was the hand of Miriam, which is found in the mound builders and in Mesoamerica. And it's a Jewish symbol. And then there was that first.
Fatima.
Yeah, the Hamza hand.
Yeah.
And then right after that in the restaurant,
like
there was
that.
a big.
Looks like that with little stars on it.
No, it's like this and has an eye in it.
Yeah, or an eye.
Yeah.
I've seen it both ways, but.
Yeah. And then after that, there was a big tree of life in the middle of the restaurant. And then in the next, so it was through 3 rooms. First room has the hand, second room has the tree, third room has the seal of Melchizedek.
Yeah. And there was a lot of lot of things happening when the chief invited me over to the Capitol Grill, eating on the Capitol Grill. I pulled in my little Chevy Spark in the parking valet. There's a black Lamborghini, all these high-priced cars, the valet, and one pulls out, and I just zip right in there and like, hey, you can't do that. I'm like, I'll pay. I'm not chopped liver. I'll pay. I said, you guys all need a spark. Everything's dark around here. It's black Lamborghinis. And I walk in, and the chief and Shane and the ladies, the wives, the Gunnabys, maybe, they're all sitting there, and it was just perfect timing. I couldn't plan for better timing. They're having a blessing on the meal, and I'm running behind because I'm halfway to Farmington when I get this text. The chief always hits me at the perfect times. I can't explain it. It's just our Heavenly Father working His mysterious ways, isn't it?
Yeah, and shout out to Charla for paying for your meal.
Yeah.
Sweet little Charlotte. Capitol Grill ain't cheap. We're talking like $80 a person, and Capitol Grill. Hey, Dave, did you upload the link tree with the Discord server? We got people that are asking about that.
Yeah, it's in the link tree right now.
More synchronicity going on with her.
Let me see here, Davey.
She seems familiar to me, and I go, hey, you seem really familiar to me.
Could be.
I know you from somewhere.
It's right above the video.
We served in the same mission
I
field
could move
together, 10 years apart. It was so odd.
Huh.
It was amazing.
Usually when someone feels like familiar to me, I just assume that I knew them in the pre-existence or something. Like, oh yeah, I knew you.
Hey, we're back. Like Huey Lewis and the News.
Okay, guys, I just got a text from Dave saying he's got to wrap things up. We appreciate everybody jumping on, staying with us. We're at 1:36. We're going to put a pin in this. LDC, see you tomorrow night, homie.
Later. Interview Dr. David Allen.
Who is that?
That's one of Chief Mitigaw's in some of his videos. He's if you Google Doc Allen, or the Allen, ALLAN, time variance, he's an LDS physicist, and that's kind of how we came together on these physics, theoretical astronomical physics problems. He's the one who developed the atomic clock at the Bureau of Standards in Colorado.
He invented the atomic clock himself?
Not himself. He was in the team. He's a BYU valedictorian graduate, worked for the U.S. Bureau of Standards in, I want to say Colorado Springs, but that's a whole deep rabbit hole to go down, and I don't want to do that. But you can learn a little bit about him, and there's just too much to share here. Too many.
All right, we're good with it because you're being cryptic. So I don't want to try to drag it out of you. I want to say hi to JT really quick because JT popped in on the live stream. What's up, brother?
Dude, you need to put your sunglasses on too, Trevor.
Yeah,
what's up, brethren? How's it going?
JT, where you dialing in from? Can you hear us? Where you at, brother?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington right now.
Tacoma, the aroma from Tacoma.
But I joined the crew. Oh, yeah, you know about it. You know about it. That's cool.
Yeah. I used to live in Bothell, so I'm a neighbor up north. I had a cell phone store in the Renton, and I also had it in Tequila. So
okay, yeah.
It's kind of down.
I lived in Kirkland for a little while.
All right. Yeah,
I'm from West.
Kirkland. By the first Costco is in Kirkland, and that's why they have Kirkland brand everything Costco. And you know, on 80, I think it's 85th Street, 122nd, on that exit right by that Costco, that's where I had my first cell phone store, my first business that I owned 20 some odd years ago.
I lived on 124th.
Very cool.
I see you. Awesome, bro. So you've been following Zion Media for a bit, or is this your
I've been watching you guys, and I just recently just subscribed, I think. Yeah, I've been watching you guys a little bit. Chief Mitiga, I followed Chief Mitiga into your channel, and then yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys. I really think I'm Native American. I'm enrolled tribal member of the Macares, but I lived in Arizona for 2 years, and I was Elders Quorum president down south, and I learned a lot from those people. Spent a lot of time with some Hopi elders and some Navajo people, and but I wanted to share with you guys. I learned about the Hopi prophecy. I don't know if you've seen it, but me and somebody else were talking about it in the comments.
dude? Enlighten us. Tell us. I like I said, I want to know more about it because I've heard
So
a lot.
I'm not professional. I'm not a professional. I'm not like a historian or anything. I might butcher it, so I apologize to any Hopis that may be watching. So,
I'm amateur.
all I know is there's two paths that humanity can take, and one path will be peaceful, right? But the other one, there will be 3 shakings, and to me, I can't go in depth right now because I can't really remember it all off the top of my head, but it really relates to Lehi's last prophecy to his children in 2nd Nephi. It sounds so similar, not identical, but similar. I think the Hopi prophecy has a lot more in depth about it, whereas Lehi's last prophecy are more personal to his children, his grandchildren, right? So you guys should look that up. I think it's Thomas Banyakya Jr. It's a Hopi elder on YouTube. I mean, this was recorded years ago, probably in the 80s or 90s. There's many different versions, so you kind of have to pick and choose or go through a number of different videos. But there's one I found, and he goes in great detail, and he's an elder, and you can tell that he does this with his whole heart. You know, he doesn't like, oh yeah, something like this or anything like that. He doesn't do that. He goes across the 3 great shakings. Anyway, that's one prophecy that I know of the Hopi prophecy. Another one is the blue star, prophecy of the blue star. I think they call it the blue star Kachina. I'm not sure, but you guys should look those up.
Blue star prophecy.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know what's interesting? This Jacob star, if you guys saw the video of it, it's blue and green and white, and it's like,
yeah,
that's a blue star, bro.
Oh,
That's
my
true.
glasses are giving off the blue.
Yeah, it's a major blue star. Soul says that she's trying to call in. Guys, listen, David and I are gonna do one of these starting at 10 o'clock. We're gonna do some late night ones, open it up for hour to 2 hours, which will just be live call-ins. We figured out technology where you can scan the QR code to be able to get in, which will make it super easy. We'll just open this bad boy up and we're just gonna nerd out. So it's Sunday night. We appreciate everybody joining. JT, Doc, thanks for coming on and sharing with us some info. LDC, Dave, for all of us here at Zion Media. Look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if you're not there in person, we'll be live streaming. Dave and I are on a road trip. And LDC, are you road tripping with us?
Oh yeah, of course, 100%.
All right, we'll do some live stream from the car.
Let's like listen to like some subliminals on the way there to like, because I'm gonna be doing like 5-day fast while we're there.
When do you start your fast? I may
at midnight. That's why I
tonight?
was gonna be like, I'm gonna go early so I can finish eating some tuna and get some water in my
And
system.
when are you ending it?
At least Thursday, like till Friday, I think.
Bet. I'll start. Dave?
Yes.
You think you want to do it with us?
I actually have already started. Yes, I do.
So you'll extend. Basically, we're not stopping for food, is what we're saying.
Okay.
We're not stopping
Maybe
on the road.
if we have to, we can get some electrolyte water. In fact,
Yeah,
I
one-
prefer that with whoever's
Water is
driving.
the only thing I'd be drinking or eating. I'll
Yeah.
just chew my water.
All right. Well, when I
Mineral
fast, I do
salt
Diet
count?
Mountain Dew because there's no calories in it.
Nice.
So, okay.
Dude, this is the first time I'm gonna fast without water. I'm gonna see how long I can go like that.
Whoa. All right. We'll see if you get ornery, bro. So, okay, everybody. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys later.
Good night.